Hi, guys, and welcome back to Bone This Way. Today we have a very, very special guest. My best friend, Sam, is here. You might
I was gonna
recognize.
like
Yes, pose, both.
pose, but then I think if people are listening, they're like,
They, they
"What's
were.
she doing?"
She's just not speaking to me. You might recognize Sam because we had a podcast together called Life at the Deep End, where we went into all things. We interviewed people. It was a really fun podcast, a really fun time. So this is like a bonus episode of Life at the Deep End.
When did we even start that? I'm not gonna lie, I totally spaced about that.
Did we start that just before
In lockdown.
COVID?
Yes, we did, because
Uh,
when we were planning, we were in person together, weren't we?
Yeah.
And we recorded our intro in
On
person together,
yeah. Yeah.
but then like huddled up beside your laptop, weren't we? But then
Yeah.
then it was all like the episodes were all done via Zoom, weren't they?
Yeah, all of them. So yeah, it must have then been in
Yeah,
COVID that we thought, well, let's do
yeah,
it. So yeah, so we did that for a while and then it just kind of, closed that book and yeah.
yeah. Here
So
we are.
here we
Here
are.
I am.
I haven't
Yes,
seen Sam
feature.
in months. So
I
seeing you
know.
right now is a blessing and your hair is growing, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
I've got a bit of a bald patch still,
Have you?
but for any, yeah, kind of. Look, can you see? It is covering. It
Slightly,
is
yeah,
getting
but
better.
wow.
Yeah, but
Have
I
you
had
have
a
you had
stem
it
cell. What?
sorry. No.
No,
I
you go.
was like, have you had it styled as well?
No, I hate
Oh,
it. I hate it. So I had a stem cell transplant this year for anyone listening, and the aggressive or intense, whatever you'd use, chemotherapy. I lost all my hair. And it's been so I got my new stem cells back on the 30th of May. So it's nearly been 4 months.
wow.
And I like stayed bald for quite a long time, and then like literally in the last like month or two it has grown back. But my mum said this is how my hair grew as like a baby, like it's kind of
It
grown a bit mohawky, isn't it?
mhm. It looks like you
I
like cut it that way.
No, I don't like it. So I did the other day after I'd washed it, I can brush it like the opposite direction,
Mhm.
which I have been doing to try like let it grow however, but it looks a mess. So for this, because this is being recorded, I thought, well, I'll just let it. Yeah, but it's just naturally. I think it's because it's gonna curl. So it's going
Right.
that way. So as it
Uh-huh.
grows, it's gonna like curl round.
I
But
remember when you first shaved it off and I was like, you look so good.
yeah, it's weird the difference in like hair growth, because when I first shaved it off, obviously I hadn't fully lost it. It was like just falling out. And so when it was regrowing straight. You know, like how
Mhm.
normal hair would just like
Mhm.
grow out of your scalp. But
Mhm.
now there's actually like quite a lot of hair, but it's growing like onto my head.
Okay.
And it like feels it's like baby hair. It's like so soft.
Is it?
It's like completely different. And you can see when it's wet, it's gonna go curly.
Yeah.
But
Do you think your hair will be different now then? Like,
I don't know. I think it is going to go curly
mhm.
when it's short, whether or not it will stay that way. Because they do
Yeah.
say chemo curls is like a
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's been a whole like palaver with me debating whether to shave it again or not. Because that is a lot of the advice that people say, just reshave it a couple of times until it
Mm.
starts growing like normal hair.
Okay.
But I just don't know if I can face
Yeah.
having no hair again. So
No, no, I understand that.
yeah.
I would be the worst.
Mm.
Um, but you have done so well,
I was going to
honestly.
put a wig on for this, but they kind of I have loads of wigs, but they kind of hurt my head a little bit. So
I was gonna say, is your head still sensitive?
yeah, it's more like it then feels weird on my neck because I've like got used to not having no hair for so
Mhm.
long.
Mhm.
But I'm looking forward to it growing because I don't. Everyone's been really nice and says like, oh, it looks nice and blah blah, but I just don't feel like myself. I just don't
Of
like
course.
it.
Yeah.
And I
As
feel like before I had the transplant in the lead up, like when it was actively falling out like anything, the
mhm.
shave was like I embraced it because it was
Yeah.
just a nightmare with how much it was falling out. And then I didn't mind that had no hair because of what I was going through and that adrenaline.
Mhm.
But now I'm in recovery on the other side of it. I'm like, right, okay, I'm fed up now. Like, I'd
Yeah.
like some hair back, please.
Yeah. It's like when you had to shave it, it's like you accepted that you would
Yeah,
have to do that.
yeah.
So now
And
it's
now
like,
it's
okay,
like hair,
grow now.
please.
Yeah.
Especially because my leg hair, geez, Louise, is growing like. so fast.
Why is that always the
I
case though?
know,
It's so
so
unfair, isn't
annoying.
it? But yeah, I mean, you've done so incredibly amazing, and
Thank
I've missed
you.
you so much, and I cannot wait to
I know,
actually
I
see you
can't
and give you a
wait till
hug.
we can actually,
But,
in
you know,
person.
we adapt, don't we? And I think that's what you
Yeah,
can do when you're going through things, and, you know, it's shit when things happen and you have to just
yeah,
go on the ride, because
yeah.
what's the other option, right?
Well, that because I did try. This is what I started saying to you the other day. I did try therapy, but I
Hmm.
went down like the private therapy route.
Yeah.
So to make this less convoluted, I'll just stick to that story. And I had a look. I think I did look originally when I was in the hospital, and I
Hmm.
saved a few people. I'm not going to name names. I was just about to name the person, but but basically, yeah, I signed up to this private therapist because she offered like phone call appointments or
Yeah.
FaceTime and stuff.
Hmm.
And at first she was a bit like, oh, why can't you come see me in person? Da, da, da. But it was fine. We had the call. I think I only ended up having one session with her. I feel like when you know, you know.
Yeah.
And it was fine. Like she was really nice, but basically I didn't like it because I feel like one, she wasn't listening to me. Like I would say to her, it was during the time that I was getting really bad headaches. And I'd said to her, like, I'm not sure if they could be really early menopause because that is a huge side effect or issue that happens after having a stem cell transplant. So I kind of said to her, like, my reasoning for thinking that it wasn't just that I was being dramatic or whatever.
Hmm.
And then when I finished saying, like, oh, so, you know, there's a chance there could be hormonal headaches, maybe, she was like, how old are you? And I was like, 32. And she was like, oh, don't be sick. And she was like, don't be silly. Like, of course, you've got years to go yet. And I couldn't be bothered to like say to her, I know, that's what I just explained. So I just was like, I was like, oh, I
What?
just didn't like really say anything. And then I felt like she was like, what do you want from me? And I was like, one of the things that I'd like to get better at. So I had two things that I wanted to talk to her about. One was just anxiety when there's nothing that I'm aware of that's triggering it. You know, we can just feel really, really anxious,
Yep.
but there's no like thought that's
Hmm.
necessarily like bothering you.
It's more of a
So I was saying to
feeling.
her, yeah, so I was saying to her, like, I'm having real issues with the physical side of it. And then I also said to her, another thing that I'd like to get better at is talking about things a bit more meaningfully without crying. And she latched onto that and was like, but it's okay to cry. And I was like, yeah, totally appreciate that. Like, it, you know, I'm not one of those people that's like stiff upper lip, like never cry. I was
Hmm.
like, but sometimes it's frustrating if I want to talk about something and I just cry the whole time
Hmm.
and then I never actually get to talk about it.
Hmm. Yeah. You want to
And
express yourself
yeah, I
without.
want to be able to like talk about something and
Hmm.
not just be like, "Ah," like crying.
Yeah.
And all her advice to me for that was just, it's okay to cry. And she was like, I think you're being too hard on yourself. And I was like, but I'm not. Like I do cry, like I will cry. That's fine, but this is the issue, you know,
Yeah.
I'm facing. And she just didn't really have, I felt like, this is really mean of me, but I felt like she was like reading off like a Pinterest board or something.
Yeah.
Like where she was like,
Yeah.
it's okay to cry. And then she was like,
Yeah. Live, laugh, love.
yeah. And then she was like, oh, if you have a bad day, it's okay to have a bad day. And I
Do you need a
think
therapist to tell you that?
I know those are so like rehashed sentiments
Basic.
that we know now, or I know not everyone knows, but I'd come to her and I'd kind of said like I am aware of that. I know that like a bad day doesn't last. I said, but I'm not very good at in that moment being like, but tomorrow might be better. And then
Hmm.
she was like, but it's okay to have a bad day.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, cool. She's like, it's okay to cry. I was like, cool. It's okay to have a bad day. Okay, cool.
Do you ever feel with people like that, that you feel a bit pissed off? It's like you're not listening, because that's your main job here, is
Yeah.
to be listening, and then give me some like tools or something to help me with
Yeah.
this. But at the same time, I don't know about you, but sometimes when people are like that, I end up, I don't know what's like how my brain goes. I start feeling not sorry for them, but like I'm thinking, I can't be bothered with this. I'm just going to agree, because it's just,
Yeah.
you're not clearly getting it.
don't feel sorry for them, but I shut down.
Yeah.
Like I put walls up so much, and
Mhm.
I just like, there was a few times where she'd ask me a question and I'd answer it, and then she'd be silent for a while, and I know that's her giving me room for if I want to elaborate or keep talking. But at this point, I'm just like,
I'm gonna stay silent.
I've got nothing else to add to it, because there's building rapport, and then there's just, like you said, just not listening.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know whether, I don't know, I don't have that much experience with therapy, so that kind of like didn't deter me, but just made me think there's probably stuff that I can like look at on my own, you know.
Absolutely. I think the thing is with therapy is so many people have therapy now and it's great. Like I think it's really good that people are kind of reaching out for therapists to get that
Mm,
extra support. And, you know, I've done coaching and, you know, we're being a coach, you're not a therapist. So I think it's great to actually go to a therapist to unpack things. But
yeah,
finding a good therapist and a great therapist is a bit like finding a great boyfriend.
yeah,
It's like you've got to find that person that you
yeah,
literally
that you
can
connect with.
connect with because but also what she did was so like that's so basic. Listening is like a
Yeah,
key thing to
I know.
your
And there
role
were
as a
so many
therapist.
times I said things that she then, and it's not even that she wasn't just listening, it was then that she shut me down on them. Like the
Mhm.
menopause thing being, oh, don't be the amount of time she said to me, oh, don't be silly. I'm like,
I
finish
don't
your
even think that's the language.
qualifications, please.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't think like that's the language they should the dialogue and the language she should
yeah,
just be using anyway
no,
because that isn't how you even build rapport even because
yeah.
you are literally
Because
shutting
then it just
someone
makes me
down.
feel like, yeah, because I'm like,
Silly.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
being silly.
I'm not. I'm not joking.
So,
Wow. Well, you know, I think it's really hard as well because like there's these things now, like there's better help. And I was desperate at one point and went on there. And even on
mm,
there, like I think some people can find really great therapists. And the lady that I had, she was very kind and, you know, helpful in some ways, but in other ways, I felt a bit like, I know you can do this in therapy, which is answer your own questions. But sometimes it's like,
yeah,
well,
it's too
it's a
much
bit,
of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, a bit basic. I had a good therapist when I broke up with my ex but she was a relationship therapist. So I think that's kind of like she was a
Yeah,
pro in
I
that.
actually, I was going to say that. I think that from what my takeaway is, it's really important to find a therapist in the lane that it
Mhm.
is that you want to work on, because I think where I went wrong, health anxiety is
Mhm.
just such a different ball game.
Mhm.
Like, and health issues and stuff like that is just completely different. And I can't blame her too much for them being like, oh no, like thinking it, because it's not something she's probably familiar with. So I think, like I
Yeah.
said, relationship therapy, family therapy,
Mhm.
health therapy. I think that is very important to find somebody that does specialize
Yeah. I
in like
yeah.
that area.
I think if you know what you need support with or what you feel you need support with, then
Yeah,
it's a good idea because the only thing I'd say is that sometimes we think it's
one
one
thing.
thing, but it could be another. But when it's obviously
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like for you, it's
It was
obvious
obvious
it's
it's all
because
health
yes,
related. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Um and yeah, I mean so many people have health anxiety these days as well. So there probably is great
Mm,
therapists out there. And I think the thing is you don't have to if because we have things like the internet, we don't have to stay with someone in our hometown anymore. We can
no,
find someone great
exactly.
online.
Yeah.
Although I've never had I think I had therapy like once or twice, well, a few times when I was like 15 or
Mm.
16, in person. Like that was the most basic. I think it was more like counseling. I'm not sure. That was so basic. That was at the
I've just had
hospital.
a I've just had a memory. Actually, I have been to a therapist in person. This is years ago. Do
Yeah.
you remember? And I showed up at your house afterwards.
Yes.
And I've been crying my eyes
Yeah.
out.
So she
So
does
many.
cry. She does cry, guys. Like
Exactly. I totally forgot about
is
that. But
she doesn't hide
that was
it.
what bugged me though. I went to the therapist. I can't even remember what she asked me, but whatever she asked me, I spent the whole session crying.
Hmm.
Didn't actually then get to, this is my third point, didn't get to speak about anything, and then left and just felt like, oh my God, I can't just go home. So I remember texting you because it was around like not far from your house. I was like,
Yeah.
can I come round?
So yeah, I can't remember what we spoke about.
No,
You,
I don't. That was years ago,
was
wasn't
that?
it?
Did you have CB?
No, so that was different.
Okay.
Because I did get referred through the NHS for CBT.
Yeah.
But when they finally picked it up, so there was an issue there with timescales. The lady that I saw actually did I think it's acceptance cognitive therapy.
Okay.
So it's slightly different because she
Okay.
appreciated that I'm not, because like health wise, I'm not making it up in my head,
Yeah.
not, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was more
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, accepting it. And
Yeah.
I had like, she was amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot fault her at all. Like, I
Yeah.
really, really liked her.
Mm-hmm. So don't put this off
No,
trying
exactly.
therapy.
Yeah, if I could
You've
get
just got
back
to
to
find,
her,
yeah, you've
you've
just got to
just got to
find your
find, yeah,
person.
who you click with. Because yeah,
Exactly.
she helped me so much. So
Mm-hmm.
they're out there. You just gotta,
They are
I
out
think you just
there.
gotta like think, if it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right. Like
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of options out there. Don't
Yeah.
settle for something that isn't going to help you,
Yeah. And if you're
especially
not,
if it's going to cost you money.
well, yeah, exactly. But I know you said you only had one session with her, but that was clear that she wasn't going to be on the
it
right
yeah
page.
it was just obvious to
Yeah.
me.
Whereas, like, don't also think that, oh, in one session, you might not get all the
No,
answers. You won't get any answers in your first session.
no.
You'll just have an inkling on, oh, am I going to get on with this person? Are they going to
Yeah,
understand me? Are they going to listen? Are they going to get it?
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's what
Because
you need to figure
the
out.
person I saw years ago that I cried, the only
Mhm.
reason I only saw her once is because she had family emergency. Like she
Oh.
had to cut. Like yeah, I couldn't go forward for
Mhm.
her own personal reasons. But usually, yeah, I would stick it out a few. But
Yeah.
I just knew
Mhm.
from this lady that I was like, thank you, but no, thank
Thank you, but
you.
no, thank you.
Mm.
It's interesting though, because I think, right, so the therapists I've only had two properly now, I suppose,
Mm.
and both been online. And that other lady from when I was a kid, that was just, I can't even really remember
Mm.
that. I used to come out of the sessions like, what was that even for?
Yeah.
Have all been women's, which I find has been better for myself being
Yeah.
female. But I remember going in on a session with my ex, and it was a guy, and
Mm.
it was interesting though, because I was thinking, oh, I don't know what he said to this guy. It's hard when, like, I can't suddenly be in a couples therapy session with someone who's already been having a session with this therapist.
Yeah, that
Um,
seems
but
difficult
what
to.
was kind of interesting to me was I could see that he was completely understanding my point of view. And I was actually really surprised. So, yeah,
It
don't write people
probably
off.
it might have helped in a way that he'd been his therapist prior because he'd already
Mm.
like talked
Like,
his,
see, yeah,
yeah, like already like picked up on him as opposed to like face value first
yeah,
meeting you.
yeah. He picked up on the old toxic traits,
Mhm.
one would say.
Yeah. I tell you
Anyway,
what, I tell you the only the therapy that we need
Mhm.
is the Eras tour.
I was gonna say, I was gonna divert from that, because talking
Yeah.
about shitty boyfriends, um, we're going to see Taylor Swift,
Tay Tay.
the Eras tour. So I'm so excited. We're going next year.
Yeah,
Cannot wait.
June the 14th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Because it's one of those dates, because I think that's the dates because we're going for a few days, aren't we? I
Yeah,
keep
I
forgetting
need
what.
to put it in my diary, because it will soon come
Yeah,
around, It will soon
yeah,
be here,
well,
and we'll soon be screaming all those lyrics and crying.
honestly,
It'll be therapy.
I said to Frank the other day, I saw a TikTok of her performing Exile, and I said to Frank, I was like, I'm just gonna be in tears the whole time, like,
Yeah.
and that's just watching TikToks, let alone being there, you know?
Yeah. I
Oh,
was
it's
I
gonna
was
be.
like watching so many Cruel Summer bridge
Oh
bits.
my
I
god,
just love that
you
bridge.
are gonna be
So
screaming
we're
that.
gonna they're like, I don't want to walk on this bridge on my own or whatever. Come walk
Yeah,
across with me. And I'm like, yes, that bit I just love so
yeah,
much. Oh, it's gonna be so
yeah.
fun. And then can
It
you imagine
is.
us with All Too Well as well?
I know. I hope she does, because I think she does the 10, like she does the full 10-minute version
She better
apparently.
do the 10-minute version. Because
Yeah.
I've
Oh
got
my
all,
god, I just
I
can't
can't
wait.
wait. We're
We're
gonna
gonna
have
have to
to
have like,
great
yeah,
outfits.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, picking what, because people pick like what era they want to be, you know, like what album.
Oh.
So like Lover, Midnight's, Reputation,
Mm.
Folklore. I'm thinking probably Lover, just
Mm-hmm.
because I might then wear something like, I don't know. You could go for like maybe one of her older eras that are more country,
Yeah,
because
Timber.
like cowboy boots and stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I have got some like glittery cowboy boots, which would be quite.
Yeah, or even in it's in Folklore Evermore, the song Cowboy Like Me. You're a cowboy like me. You could
Oh,
be
well, I don't even know that song.
perfect. It's in Folklore or Evermore.
Okay.
You're a cowboy like me. I'm not going to attempt to sing it. No one
Oh,
needs
that's
to
a
hear
shame. That's
that.
such a
No one needs
shame.
to hear that.
But we are going to have so much fun. So if you see us, come say
Yeah.
hi. And we'll have to get some bracelets.
I was just about to say that. We need to figure out, like, I feel like you need to do a TikTok or an Instagram, because it will get a further reach if people are doing it. I don't want to load up my whole arm with bracelets and then the UK is like, nah, we're not doing that. Because I've just got all these bracelets all over
Yeah.
me and everyone's like, no thanks.
Oh, so tell me, so you know more, I think, than me. Do people like make and take
Yeah,
loads of bracelets with them already to give
to
to
swap.
people to
Yeah, to
swap?
exchange. Yeah,
So
and from my knowledge, it's funny because I think people started doing it because the song in Midnight's "You're on Your Own, Kid."
oh,
In the bridge, I love that song.
yeah,
There's a bit that says to
friendship.
make the friendship bracelets, take them home
Yes.
and taste it. But apparently that song wasn't included in her set, because obviously
Oh,
she's got so many songs.
yeah.
And that wasn't one of the ones being sung. So
Mhm.
it was quite funny that people were doing that, even though that wasn't a song that she was singing.
That is really
It
random.
was, I think it was brought to her attention. So I don't know if she's changed it,
Okay.
but yeah, people are
So
making friendship bracelets
so that's what
and
we have to do
swapping,
before we go is have a friendship bracelet night.
making that. Yeah.
I don't know if my dexterity will be
My
able to
niece
do that.
makes really good ones as well, so I might have to get her to work.
Yeah. So do you like write things on them and stuff, a bit like my little dolly bracelet that
I
I have
think,
on now?
yeah, I think you can just do whatever you want, you know?
Ooh.
Like, but because I do see in America, I know it's in America, so there's like more famous people will probably go in. But you know, like, have you seen all the famous people that were going to the concerts?
Yes. I
And they were
mean,
and some were swapping bracelets with people. Can you
yeah,
imagine? Like, who can we manifest that we will see to swap a bracelet with?
from the UK.
From the UK, we'll have to have a think.
Who do I even like anyone in the UK? Because I feel like my brain is stuck in America half the
I
time.
love Tom Hiddleston, but he is one of her exes, so I don't know who'd be that. I'll be singing "Getaway Karen."
Who
Yeah, I
else?
don't know.
Harry Styles?
Harry Styles,
But we're
yeah.
going to be in Liverpool though.
Where's he from? Manchester or
But he
somewhere.
lives in like Hampstead Heath, doesn't he?
Yeah, but she's only doing Liverpool, Wembley, Cardiff, so it's not like
Mm,
there's many options, you know.
Liverpool. I'm trying to think who would be there. I mean, in America, it was everyone.
Yeah,
Like Caroline from Vampire Diaries. What's her name again? Candice.
Candice, yeah, a
Yeah.
cola, or I don't know how to pronounce.
Who else did I see? I saw Gigi Hadid giving
Oh,
bracelets
there
to
was
like a
just
little girl.
like literally
Vanessa
everyone, wasn't there?
Hudgens. That's
Yeah,
so
there was
cool.
just literally everyone.
Oh, so what do you think about this whole new relationship? What's his name? Travis Kelsey?
Yeah, I didn't,
Is
I
that his name?
wasn't how to pronounce it. Yeah, Travis
He's kind of good
Kelsey.
looking.
He is. I
I've
thought
never
that
seen him
he is.
before.
No, I haven't either.
Looks like
I
he's
saw
hot.
like, and also he kind of seems like he seems attractive. Like in some of the videos I've seen, he's like a
Yeah.
bit goofy.
Yeah. He
Like
has a
he doesn't take
podcast.
himself too seriously, which kind of then made him even more attractive.
Well, I think I liked it that he went to the Eras tour and he wanted to
Yeah,
talk. He wanted to give her a bracelet, didn't he, or something like that,
yeah.
or speak to her.
I
And now
saw
they're
a
dating.
video.
Manifestation.
I saw a video this morning. I don't know what I'm saying. I saw a video. I saw a TikTok.
I saw a
Saw a
video, a
TikTok. I
VHS.
saw a TikTok this morning, and it was a clip because he has a podcast,
Yeah.
Travis does, with his brother, but it's a sports one. And the clip was his brother saying, "So, Travis, how does it feel that Taylor's put you on the map?" And
Yes.
all the comments was these like girls put in, "I can't believe I'm about to listen to a sports podcast."
I know. I saw the same thing this morning.
Yeah.
And it said, I saw that as well. And it was
We're on
like,
the
this will be
same
the most listened
algorithm.
to podcast.
Yeah.
but how cool. Like, it's like a little love story we're watching.
Yeah.
Wonder how, I mean, I saw this other TikTok and it was like, this is the guy she'll marry. That's what this girl was saying. She was like, she was with
Yeah, I saw
someone
that.
and
They're
then she
like,
had the shitty
yeah.
back with her ex vibe. And now she's like, oh my God, is that what's going to happen to me then?
I did also see his ex tweeted being like, I wouldn't be a girl's girl if I didn't warn you, Taylor, that once a cheater, always a cheater. So because I saw that someone said this is either going to be the guy she marries or it's going to be the greatest breakup album.
Oh my God.
But
We hate a cheater.
you know, that's just a rat. You know, who
Was that
knows?
his previous ex? Was it a recent ex
I don't
girlfriend?
know because I don't know anything about him.
No, suddenly we're gonna
Yeah,
like know everything. I mean,
yeah.
what's his star sign? I mean, I know he plays for Kansas.
I wouldn't have
uh,
even known that.
but yeah, cheaters are not a vibe. I think, especially guys, I wouldn't, well, that's how it seems like guys cheat more, right? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But I think
It seems that way, but
yeah.
doesn't it? But maybe that's
Mm.
I don't know.
So
I
let me
think
ask your
I think if you
opinion.
tried to say that, other men would
We'll be
throw
like,
back
no.
in your face. Women
Yeah.
cheat just as much.
Yeah. Well,
And
I haven't.
so yeah, so you think I don't know.
So tell me, do you think once a cheater, always a cheater, or can people change?
Oh, I do think people can change.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that there's levels,
I agree.
I think
I
that
agree.
people that just I don't know, cheat constantly.
Mm, that's in their blood.
I think there probably is a mentality that they're just never gonna commit and they're
It's a
just gonna
mental
cheat all the
illness.
time.
Yeah.
But I think perhaps it wouldn't be fair to write off like one incident to
Yeah.
someone when they're
Yeah.
young, when they're
Yes.
young as
Yes.
well,
I
you
was going
know.
to say
But
when they're
I feel
young.
like it's hard for me to like I never know of my opinion. Like I have been with my partner for 13 years this year.
Oh my God, how old are we?
Yeah, I know. So yeah, it's like yeah, 13 years at the end of the year. So
Oh my God, Sam, I'm just
and
thinking.
we've never cheated, and to my knowledge, he's never cheated.
No.
So
No, you
I
just
think
know. Women's
yeah,
intuition is strong. Like when you know, if you
yeah.
know what I mean.
But I have friends and people on both ends of the scales, like male
Mhm.
and female, when
Yeah.
they were younger. So
Yeah.
I think age does play into it and how
I do.
committed a relationship is.
Yeah.
But I think as you get older, when you're actually like with someone properly and they're cheating, then yeah, I think it says a lot about their
It
personality,
it
doesn't it?
does. And remember, if you're being cheated on, guys, it's nothing to do with you. It's all about the person who's cheating. Because if they've got to a stage in their life and they still don't know what they want,
Mm-hmm.
like that's like on them. Like it's like they're lost
Yeah.
because it's like I need more things to cheat, more bodies to
Yeah.
fuck, basically. Because what
And
is be
it's a
single?
hard sentence though to like say to people because like if you say if someone was with someone and you said and they cheated and they said once a cheater is a cheater and you encourage them to like leave them,
Mm,
but was it a mistake?
yeah.
But then vice versa, that's not a good, healthy like outlook to give someone.
No.
Like say their partner cheated and you said, oh well it might have been a one-off.
Yeah.
I think it's very personal, isn't it? I don't think that outsiders influence should
No.
play like what people decide to do about it.
Yeah. I think, when I've been in situations like that, that's like a no-go for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, bye. But it's because in the past when I've been cheated on, I was like, oh well, I actually made the excuse for the guy I was with for years at the start of our relationship because he was young. And it was a bit like, oh, I
Yeah.
suppose he's only
And it's
22
not
at the
an
time.
excuse.
Like,
No,
huh?
that's yeah. So when I say young, I don't mean like when you're young, you should put up with it. I meant
Yeah.
like if you met a partner later in life and you found out when they were younger,
Yeah.
they'd previously cheated. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
if you're young and your partner's cheating on you, don't be like, oh well, they're young. Like,
No,
no.
because remember as well, what is the saying? Like, how the relationship starts, it's how all it ends as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if someone's cheated on you, cheated on their girlfriend to be with you,
yeah.
they'll probably then cheat on you for the next person. And actually, I think my ex from years ago, I think, thinking about it, because he wasn't from around here. Surprise, surprise. Hello. Does anyone know me?
Who are you?
I unknowingly started seeing him, and I think he
Yeah,
had a girlfriend. I think
yeah.
he did, but I wasn't
You,
aware of it. And then I
no,
found out afterwards, like, what? And then he broke up with her. I think.
yeah,
Well, I hope
yeah.
so. It was a 6-year relationship.
I do think that sentiment is quite true. I think time and time it does show that if you start a relationship in that way, it tends to end in that way, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Especially when I think someone's trying to figure out their own life and figure themselves out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's no excuse, but just be single. If you want to have fun,
yeah.
or be just
And if
open
you've got
about
a
it.
friend going through it, like I always said with my advice, like with anything that you're experiencing, is I'm not the boss of your life. Like I can't tell you what you want to do, but no matter what you decide to do, I'll be there. Because so many times friendships like don't help. They put strain on it because if you think, oh, my friend should 100% break up with that person, and if you get annoyed with them because they don't, you're just isolating them more to that person.
Oh, you literally are. I've had a friend do this to me, haven't I?
Yeah. So I think why not just be a good friend and be there regardless for whatever the fallout is? It's not your life, it's their life. They're going to do what they want to do.
I think it gets to a point. I understand perhaps if someone keeps coming to you and going, oh, he's cheated on me again. Oh, look, we're doing this for the 4th time. We're doing this for the 5th time. Like you can be there and be supportive, but you can also say, look, it keeps happening. You keep going back to him or her. Maybe just don't talk to them about it anymore. I want to be there for you, but what are you going to do to like make some shifts in your life? I remember with something that happened in my past, I said to one of my friends, oh, you know, I'm talking to them, blah, blah, blah. And this was in the past. And they got really arsy with me. But it's like I hadn't ever gone back. And I was like, but I haven't even gone back. You haven't even given me the chance to try.
Yeah.
In fact, they had a similar thing for their relationship. So I was so confused.
And what good does it do? It doesn't then make you want to go talk to them and open up, does it?
Well, you can't ever be yourself if you can't even express it once to somebody. That's very weird to me. Oh, guys, you are literally getting insight into mine and Sam's just conversations right now.
Yeah, this is just a FaceTime.
Don't
what we
sound
covered?
like I've got really bad
We've covered like bad therapy, hair loss, cheaters, and Taylor Swift.
I mean,
I feel like it's a podcast she'd be proud of.
Do you know what we've completely missed out though?
What?
Vampire Diaries.
Oh yeah.
I mean, actually, there was one reference.
When I said about I wonder who we'd see at the Eras tour, I was gonna say, and then my mind got diverted. I was like, can you imagine if we got to give one of like Damon or Stefan a bracelet?
Yeah. Damon or Stefan.
If you had to I feel like I'm like 12. I feel like I'm like 12. If you had to give a bracelet to somebody, if you could only give one bracelet to Ian Somerhalder, Damon Salvatore, or Paul Wesley, Stefan Salvatore, who would you pick?
Oh, so all 4 of them? Like
No, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. So would you rather give it to Damon or Stefan?
Okay. Damon. Today it's Damon. Tomorrow it might be Stefan. It depends on my mindset with them. It's like, am I going for a bit of a...
Yeah.
Although Stefan's sometimes a bit of a fake nice guy anyway, so...
But then Ian Somerhalder or Paul Wesley?
Paul.
Yeah, Paul, like they are literally like reverse roles, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're both freaking gorgeous, but it's all about energy. And I think Paul has something about him.
Do you know who I'd give the bracelet to?
Tell me.
Hi, Parker.
Oh my God. Do you know what? There was one point where I followed him because I was actually like, Sam's right. He is quite hot. And then I was like, no, I don't like Kai. Why am I following him?
I think like when I watched it when I was younger, like not young, but when I was younger, I think I was more attracted to him. On rewatches since, I still stand by that. I think he's very attractive, but he does look young. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you do look quite young. But Chris Wood, the actor, he is so attractive.
So tell me then, who is your favorite in Vampire Diaries? Like one to look at. Firstly, just to look at.
To look at, I don't know, like, because Defin's weird in it. Like sometimes I think he looks really good looking. Sometimes I think he looks like the human version of Shrek. Do you know what I mean?
What?
You
I
know,
think he
like
looks
in
like Justin
Shrek.
Bieber sometimes.
Yeah, you know, in Shrek, there's
Yeah.
a bit where they turn human. Can you
I
remember
can't remember.
that?
No, I can't
There's a
remember.
bit in Shrek where they turn human for a bit, and I'm gonna send you a photo. He looks like Paul Wesley, human Shrek. I think that Paul
Oh my
Wesley's
God.
gotten better looking, like as
Yeah.
he's got older.
Yeah.
And Damon, probably Damon or Kai, Damon or Kai to look at.
Okay.
I reckon.
And then
Look, fictional Shrek.
oh my God. It kind of does.
Anyway, kind of does. But yeah.
Strong. I thought you'd say Matt.
Matt gets a lot of stick.
No, I know.
I don't. He is annoying. He is annoying, but I suppose he is part of the story, isn't he?
Yeah, he gets a lot of stick, but he freaking survives it all. And everyone's always like, oh, about him. But if you look at him for real, of course he's a good looking guy. Like, I remember talking to someone the other day, they were like, no, but if you saw him in the street, he would still be a good looking guy.
Yeah, I think
Like
anything, because Vampire Diaries spanned over quite a long time.
And they're all models.
The earlier stuff, none of them, they're all quite dated looking.
Yeah.
Like you look at Matt from the early seasons, but then
Yeah.
and even Damon, I think personally to me looks a bit too girly in his features. Like I prefer probably mid-season stuff or
the first episode and stuff. I think he just seems creepy.
Who's your favorite overall though?
Do you know what? I would say obviously Damon and Stefan, let's just pretend without them, yeah? Like let's say they're not even involved.
Okay.
Because that's hard. They're obvious.
Mine changes all the time.
Mine changes all the time. But I would say who I find hot is Enzo.
Yeah, he is.
And he's British. That is rare for me. Yeah.
I don't know.
He's even British in the show.
Oh yeah, he is actually, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Is he British in real life though?
Yeah, and he's been with his wife, I think, for so many years. So that's really sweet.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I like Klaus. I
knew you were gonna say Klaus.
But I don't. Klaus, the actor Joseph Morgan, isn't particularly your stereotypical oh god, he's so good looking.
I just think he looks like a model kind of vibe.
But I like him as Klaus.
Renata loves Klaus as well. I'm always like, why? I don't get it. I don't get it. I would say Stefan, Damon, and Enzo are my top 3. Ooh, was that the order? No. Damon, Stefan, Enzo.
My heart belongs with Stefan but that's because of my latest rewatch. I'm maturing is realizing that Stefan.
I know. But
then
he's a ripper.
Deserved better.
He's a ripper though.
Yeah, I know, but he can't help that.
Oh, I can't help it. He's so damaged.
Can't help it.
I'll help him. Come to me. I will fix you.
What about who's your favorite out of the girls?
Caroline.
Yeah, mine flicks between Caroline and Bonnie. Yeah,
same.
Because Bonnie consistently the whole way through it. I like her. Caroline's really annoying at the beginning.
Oh yeah, in the first season.
Yeah. But one of my favorite, I saw a TikTok filter that was picking the couples, who would you prefer? And do you know who's really up there for me? I really like Stefan and Caroline.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really like them.
Yeah. I wish that when it all ended, they showed a little bit more as well. And I wish Stefan and Caroline did have more, but that's that. But there could have been so many more. Like, they could have been another season.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
they had
just,
a whole life to go through.
Yeah.
I
guess
it's because I don't like letting things go.
Yeah, I guess the actors did, but I'm kind of glad I'm glad it ended where it did, in the sense that it did end well. I think like it was a good final story. I like that. I mean, spoiler alert if anyone, but I like that Nina Dobrev comes back and Catherine's back in it and stuff. I think that's really good.
Yeah, but I think we have the same opinion kind of then on the girls.
Yeah.
And
I just love it all. I recently finished rewatching New Girl, and I was like, oh, what should I rewatch? And I just looked at Frank, and Frank was like, no, not Vampire Diaries again. I was like,
well, that's funny. You mentioned
oh my God,
New Girl.
We need to talk about that.
We need to talk about this. And Jake Johnson, if you are listening, if you are watching this,
if you're listening, ask me and Jordan to be on your podcast.
Yeah, because I do not understand. Guys, Jake Johnson, aka Nick Miller, more importantly, followed me on Instagram very, very randomly last week. And I was like, oh my God, I need to tell someone. Sam, of course, she watches New Girl.
I think I replied to you in Capital saying,
Nick Miller. I mean, we love Schmidt. He's hilarious. However, I don't know what it is. There's just something about Nick Miller.
There is. I like, before I go into this, actually, I still daily, this sounds really stalkerish, I still daily check if he still follows you.
Oh, does he still follow me?
He still follows you, because I know you said you weren't sure if it's an accident.
Well, I DM'd him, but every day.
Yeah, every day I'm like, does he still follow her?
Okay.
Does he not? But he does. But anyway,
does he need to come on the podcast?
I totally forgot where I was going with that.
What would I?
Let's think about Nick. I always would say, realistically, you would not want to date Nick Miller. Like, he'd be so infuriating. Yes. Like, keeping his money in a box, never washing his feet. Realistically, he would be such a frustrating boyfriend. But there's just something about him, isn't there?
Yeah. But don't you think that's like that about a lot of guys or people? You think there's something about you, but you would be the worst boyfriend ever.
Yeah.
But Nick Miller, he's so cool.
This is a full circle for the sentence, once a cheater, always a cheater. And I know this is fictional, but Schmidt and Cece, he cheats on her and then they live happily ever after.
Yeah, true. Or do they?
So maybe in fiction.
But we never see, like, when a series ends, we don't know what's happened. Like, where are they now? What are they doing?
Yeah.
I know Nick Miller, sorry, your name's Jake. He has started his own podcast. So
yeah,
perhaps that maybe I look like a very serious podcaster. And he thought, oh, she does podcasts.
Yeah, we'll get her.
I'm very not a serious podcaster. I'm very new and fresh at this. But Jake, if you are listening, hit me up. And we'll can we? Do you know what I would want to do? Just reenact episodes of New Girl. I can just pretend to be.
Who would you be? Jess, yeah.
Would I? Well, she's the main character, so.
To be fair, I think New Girl is so good because I love all the relationships. I really like Nick and Jess. I really like Schmidt and Cece, and I really like Winston and Ali that he ends up with. Like, I don't think there's a weak link at all in it.
No, I think. There's only one season that I'm just a bit like meh about. And it's when beautiful, epic Megan Fox is in it, but Jess isn't. So I think.
Yeah, I think it's nothing against her. I think they probably just aren't too sure what to do, are they?
But so if he got to hook up with Megan Fox, basically.
Nick Miller. He's been with his partner since they were like really young, I think.
Yeah, so there are some good guys out there.
Yeah, I think he is a nice guy. As much as you can think a celebrity is, like, who knows what they're really like.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
Could be the worst person on the planet.
Oh, yeah, it's like they're so sweet because they've been married 500 years. Oh, hang on a
Yeah.
minute. They have 500
Yeah.
girlfriends too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's so interesting. People are weird sometimes like that, you know? They think like some people don't even care. Back to cheating, but some people don't even care. Like they'll openly do things in front of people.
Yeah.
It's like this guy, I was in Nobu, right? This guy came over to me and was talking to me, kind of hitting on me, bought me drinks. Then he was like, "Yeah, I'm married." I was like, "What?"
Yeah. It's like
What?
I don't know, it's like a shitty confidence thing, isn't it? They think they're untouchable.
That, and they need an ego boost. Be like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
it's
well, of
like
course I'm not
it's like
doing
a
anything."
power play, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's not like they're actually doing
It's like
anything
I
physical.
can do this. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, it's like I can still pull. I'm like, well, no, I'm just being polite and I've accepted a cocktail because they're $20 each.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go right ahead.
You can buy me and my friends all the cocktails. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, so what are you up to for the rest of the day? This has been fun.
Yeah, it has been fun. I feel like we could just chat for like
I know.
hours.
That's why I was thinking I better round it up because it's like
Yeah,
almost 50 minutes.
before we get started on another.
Well, I don't know also if
To be
Zoom's
fair,
going to crash out.
yeah, to be fair, there's like, oh yeah, because it cuts off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's so much still that I want to talk to you about, like
Okay. Well,
like other things like poetry,
yes.
healthy habits. Like there's so much, so we'll
Oh
have to.
God. Yeah, we were going to talk about healthy habits, all of that. So will you come back on the podcast for a part 2 then?
I will.
So today was more of a girl chat. We're having a girl talk
Yeah,
like I did with Hannah. It was a
yeah.
girl talk. And then we'll have more serious. It had to be serious
Not serious,
anyway.
but we'll actually, yeah, like hopefully share some kind of takeaway from it. You know,
Okay. What is your takeaway today, guys? Don't settle for a cheater.
don't settle.
Don't settle
Don't
for a
settle for a
shit
cheater.
therapist.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Don't settle for a cheater. Don't settle for a shit therapist.
Don't settle for anything that you don't deserve. You deserve the
Don't
best.
settle for nothing less than Kai Parker.
What? A murderer?
Yeah, true.
You've got a good energy t-shirt on and you just
I have.
I've got a little, I mean, I don't know what this is. It's a love heart with a safety pin for it. Is it, am I broken? Do I need a little?
Oh yeah. I wonder what that was.
I'm holding it together, guys, just about.
Yeah.
Don't settle for anything less than, I don't know, than the best and a Taylor Swift bracelet.
Yeah. Yep.
To make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and
I'm gonna dance. I'm not gonna sing.
yeah, well, I'm not. I can't hear myself properly, even though I've got headphones on. I don't even know what these headphones do, to be honest.
They look
You just-
professional.
no, I
they
know.
look professional.
It's like, are these actually doing anything? Because I can't hear myself. It's just like annoying. And I just see people with headphones on who do podcasts. So I'm like, are you supposed to wear headphones?
I don't know. I think if you had like other people with you and they all had headphones on,
Yeah,
I think you'd be able to hear them more clearly.
that's true.
I think.
But these are terrible.
I don't
But
know.
anyway, I hope you enjoyed this random chit chat. I
Yeah.
loved it. Thank you so much for coming on, Sam. You are incredible. And, you know, you are, you know, a great, great friend. You are a strong woman. And I am beyond grateful that you're in my life. We've known each other since college. And you're
nearly over half our lives. Nearly half. Yeah.
Sam, you just make us sound old all the time.
Yeah.
Come on. We've known each other 2 months.
We've known each other since we left college last month.
Yeah. But you always impress me, and I always am in awe of your strength of character and just like your solid friendship and advice. And I think you're incredible. So thank you for coming on. I was going to say the show. Also, Sam is the one that came up with the name Bone This Way. Like she's a.
I feel like I was going to say this to you yesterday. I feel like it was a mutual collaboration.
Okay, I'll take it. But
yeah, I feel like it was mutual because it wasn't like I just randomly plucked it out of the air. You were throwing ideas at me around your name, you know? So I it's not like I suddenly was like, oh my God, this would be the perfect name. I feel like it was a back and forth mutual thing.
Just take it.
I think you deserve, yeah. Okay, I'll take it. But I think you deserve a bit more credit because it was off the back of where your brain was
Well, I
going
said the
anyway.
bare bones, but that's already
That's
a
what I mean. You were
podcast.
like, oh, something with your surname. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah.
Okay, well, guys, please don't forget to follow Sam on Instagram. And where can they find you, Sam?
On Instagram at Chronically Sam,
And is there anywhere else?
TikTok at Chronically Sam, and I'm in the process of updating my website as well. What a website, like blog.
And what is
So I
that?
want to write down I want to have like a good place that people can go for like all the details of HSCT, the treatment I went through and stuff, because there just isn't that much of it from a young person's perspective.
Yeah.
So the website is Chronically Sam again. There's not much on it at the moment. I think the only blog post.com, yeah, it's www.chronically-sam. It might be .co.uk. I'll check. I'll find out.
I'll double check, guys, and I'll put it in the little show
Yeah,
notes.
or if not, via Instagram. I'll link
Just
it
on
that
Instagram,
way.
it's easier, guys.
But I think the only blog post that's on there is an old one of lessons that my 20s taught me. And there's a few stupid drunk photos and stuff.
Oh, I miss those days.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for listening, guys. Please give this little podcast a review. Is it a review at the top? You can rate it, like give it a rating for me, because that really will be helpful. I want this.
And I noticed if you're listening on Spotify, when I was listening to yours with Hannah, it comes up like ask a question or leave some feedback or something. So that'd be cool.
Too.
People could, yeah.
If you've been able to listen for this long, I applaud you. Thank you for listening. And I'll speak to you next time on Bone This Way. Bye, guys.
Bye.
How do I stop recording?